Hi, I'm Alicia Klein, a prevention specialist with the Council on Chemical Abuse. Welcome back. Once again, it is National Prevention Week, and we are highlighting our prevention specialist. The Council on Chemical Abuse is Berks County's single county authority, which means that it is our responsibility to kind of manage, oversee, and um, disperse the public funds that are given for drug and alcohol treatment, uh, intervention, recovery, and prevention. And the Council on Chemical Abuse, or COCA, we have our own prevention team. So for National Prevention Week, I thought it would be a great idea to kind of highlight our team so you can get to know who we are and what we do a little bit. Yesterday, Paige Carroll mentioned that I loved what she said, prevention is everywhere. And I thought that was an excellent way to think about it because we're probably all doing prevention and we don't even know it. So today, as I mentioned yesterday before we signed off, that we have our big boss with us today. So let me welcome Jackie Steed is with us today. She's our program manager. So welcome, Jackie. How are you?
I'm great. Hello, Alicia. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you. So I see that you're in our new office. So why don't we just start with with that? Why don't you mention like where our new office is located?
Sure. So we were for the longest time at 601 Penn Street in the Santander Bank building. And then the end of February, we moved a block and a half down to the corner of 5th and Washington. So we're 50 North 5th Street on the 5th floor. We wanted to make it easy for everybody to remember where we are. And yes, so some of us are working in the office on like a staggered schedule. A lot of us are still working remotely, and I have the flexibility of working sometime in the office and sometimes at home. So we're adjusting to our new space.
Good. So how long have you worked for COCA?
I have worked for COCA in July. It'll be 19 years.
Oh,
So I've
wow.
spent my whole professional career so far here at COCA.
Paige was the same way. So I was like, how did you get to COCA? Well, there you are, right? You never left.
No, I never left. And I think it's interesting if you've been listening to the other Facebook Lives, and tomorrow you're going to discover that a lot of us are Alvernia alumni, if not all of us are. So that's where I started my undergrad work, was at Alvernia. And I went into the addictions field because I didn't really know what I wanted to do. In high school, I was an okay student. I be honest, I was like a C student, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. I went through like the EMT program at my high school. I went to Votech for cosmetology at my high school. Like, I just didn't know what I wanted to do, but I did know that I wanted to help people. And I always thought that human behavior was just so interesting, and why people chose to use drugs and alcohol, and what kept people not using. So I like went into my counselor's office my senior year, or maybe the end of junior year, and she said, "What do you want to do?" And I was like, "Well, I want to help people, and drugs and alcohol are kind of interesting." And she's like, "Well, Alvernia has this program." I'm like, "Okay, let's do it." So when I got at Alvernia and started going through some of the classes, they're very treatment heavy. And I realized very quickly, like, that's just not the route that I wanted to go. And we had one class in prevention, and I don't believe they do that anymore, but we had one class, and I was like, wow, this is what I want to do. Like, this has felt home to me. And I went to George Vogel, who was the executive director at the time here at the Council on Chemical Abuse, and also my academic advisor. And I said, "I want to intern at your office, please." So I was able to do an internship at the council. When I did my internship, we were at the services center over there, and I was able to do a lot of observations with after school programming at the time. That's what we were doing. So we were doing youth programs. The youth were focused on dance and drama and some education. And luckily for me, an opportunity, a position opened up, and I was hired pretty much after my internship, and kind of been here ever since.
Well, tell us a little bit about you yourself, maybe, something personal. What do we need to know about Jackie?
Uh, what do we need to know? Well, I've been married for 14 years now. I have a 12-year-old son. I grew up in the country, originally from Lebanon County, and Reading, had this stereotype when I was younger of it was pretty scary, like don't go across the bridge. And then when I got my job, I was going across the bridge. So learning that it's not a scary place, and that there's a lot of need in not only Reading, but around Berks County for this kind of education and prevention. I do spend a lot of time with my family. I don't have large families like some of our other prevention specialists. I am an only child. I have one child myself, but we do a lot of game nights. We're keeping ourselves safe with COVID, so we haven't really gone out a whole lot over the past year, but we're ready to get out and start doing stuff. I see my mom a lot. Just family is pretty important to me, even though it's my little family.
Yeah, that's right. Sometimes those are the best kind. And we have a question, and I always forget to mention though, if you do have questions, please put them in the chat, and we will answer them. With wearing many hats, which is your most memorable moment? Which is your most memorable moment?
It was probably early on when we were working with after school programs. We were working with what was then Berks Pride, and now the Olivet has taken that program and they do that program. And we had probably about 20, 30 youth leaders in our in the program throughout Berks County. And every year we used to take them to a conference, to a week-long conference. We took them to St. Louis. We got them on a plane. We took them to Pittsburgh, to Cincinnati, Ohio, and it was a week-long trip, and it was stressful as an adult to oversee all those youth. But what crazy, just fantastic youth that we were able to give leadership skills, and have them really just shine. And one year, I believe it was when I was an intern, they won Pride Team of the Year. Big honor, because there was Pride programs all across the county. So I would say that was definitely a moment that stuck out, and how excited they were. And I still see those young people, and they have families of their own. So it's pretty cool to see them, as they've grown up.
So, well, now as program manager, what is a typical work week for you? What is it that you do?
Yeah. Well, like the other prevention specialists, we wear many hats here, but my position is definitely more administrative than the other prevention specialists. They get to actually do the fun work. I get to plan it. But I really, as I got into this position probably about 6-7 years ago, because I was doing direct service the first 10 years of my career, I really love the planning aspect of it. Really looking at some of the research and the data and why we should be doing these prevention programs and what kind of needs we have in the community, as we did a countywide needs assessment recently, to figure out what that need was and what kind of prevention programs fit that need, and working up closely with other administrative staff here as well to figure out how we can do those programs, and going back to prevention staff and saying, this is a need we have, what can we do, how can we be creative, how can we use evidence-based programs and doing things that work, and also working with community coalitions. That was really fun. That's really fun. Teaching them about prevention, teaching school districts how important prevention is, and how it should be made a priority, and how it benefits them throughout their other subjects that happen in school.
So, what does prevention mean to you? Like, why is it so important? Because I don't really think it is an area, I think it gets overlooked a lot, and we don't really mention it as much as we should. So explain a little bit about that to us.
So what does prevention mean? Well, prevention has changed so much, like over the years. We went through like the Nancy Reagan, Just Say No. We went through like just make them feel good about themselves and they'll avoid drugs and alcohol. And now like the field itself has gained so much more credibility, standards, and there's science behind what we do. So we know that if we want to change behaviors and values and beliefs, we should be using evidence-based programs. We should be evaluating those. We should have fidelity and standards and all that kind of stuff. So we're not just doing something that makes us feel good. Oh, we did that event. Our youth came out. Oh, they cried. It really impacted them. Oh, we did prevention. Well, you might have done prevention, but I beg you to ask, did you do effective prevention? And I can't take credit for this phrase, but I heard it one time. It's, does the message translate to the moment of choice? Like what you taught when that young person is in a situation where they have to make a choice. Do they use drugs and alcohol? How they react to peer pressure? Is what you taught them going to help them deal with that moment? So I think it's so important that we build our prevention on skills, like teaching communication skills, decision-making skills, refusal skills, healthy coping skills, things that really empower our youth, give them a voice and a way to react and navigate with the pressures of being a kid.
Now that you are in management, this is a question, and actually I was going to ask you anyway. Now that you are in management, do you miss working with youth or providing direct service to schools in the community, and why?
Yes, sometimes I very much do. When I was doing direct service, my preferred population was elementary school kids. So I loved being playful with them as much as we might have a love-hate relationship with puppets. That was something that I had to embrace. And just to see them really react and just love those things. Yes, I do miss that part. I don't miss the part where it's back-to-back lessons, teaching the same lesson 4 or 5 times a day, wondering at the third time, did I say that? Or did I not say that? Was that last session's? I don't miss that kind of stuff at all, but I do miss the interaction sometimes and seeing the aha moments in students. And that's why when I got into coalition work a few years ago, I was able to see that again. So that was fun.
Great. So finally, let's share some tips and ideas, or that idea of anybody can do prevention. So what can you give to the community today to help them?
Right. I think I would focus on communication skills and building communication with the youth in your life, whether it's a parent, whether it's you're a parent and it's a kid, or it's a grandchild, or you're a coach, that just keeping those lines of communication open, and talking to them at an age appropriate level and letting them tell you what's on their mind, not finishing their not finishing their statements for them, or thinking ahead 3-4 steps of your answer, just giving them space, and being a good listener, and not being judgmental, because I think that'll open up your lines of communication so that they talk to you about the little things. So when the big things come up, they're going to know that they can talk to you, that you're not going to react in a way that would make them back off and not talk to you about things. So I think just communication. I think Alicia, you mentioned that communicating in the car, like you have a captive audience, unless they're gonna, well, let's hope that they,
Right.
they must have the car while you're driving. But just, having time for those conversations with the youth in their life, so they know that they're valued, that their opinions and thoughts are valued, and that you're a safe person to talk to about them.
Okay. Anything else you want to share with us today?
I don't think so. Prevention is all around you. It's not just about educating youth. Prevention is about, policy change and providing drug-free opportunities for youth. It's about youth empowerment and leadership skills. It's about harm reduction and importance of designated drivers and, naloxone and safe disposal of medication. So, prevention is not just educating our youth. It's so much more than that.
So if somebody wanted to get involved in prevention, I'm sorry, it's just popped into my head. I don't know, but I'm just thinking like where would like if they wanted to volunteer or like, do you think there's a place that they could go or what could they do?
Well, I think you can look into your community to see if there's community coalitions. Kutztown Strong, Brandywine Heights Task Force, Community Prevention Partnership has a coalition. So I would look there first. We do take interns, and that's a cool part of my job too, to oversee student interns that we have, a lot from Alvernia. So that is an opportunity, and I would just call us. We don't always have volunteer opportunities here or at the RISE Center, the Recovery Center, because we want to make whatever your volunteer experience is a meaningful experience and not just putting labels on pamphlets for 4 hours a day. So I would give us a call and see if there's any opportunities for some leadership or volunteer opportunities.
Okay, and lastly, I have to mention, and this is why you are the boss, because I noticed in the background you have a medication lockbox and disposal bags, which I think is awesome in the background there. And Sonia had mentioned them during her, when we were live with her. Can you show the box and stuff?
Yeah.
Just so people know what it's like.
Yep. So this is the medication lockbox. It's small. It has a little combination lock that you set yourself. You can buy these at, Walmart has them, but we have them for free. So if you're interested in getting one and keeping your medication safe so it doesn't fall in the hands of people who might be looking at it to get high, or like Sonia mentioned, maybe you have an older folk who might be on early onset dementia and they might be confused. Did they take their medication yet today or did they not? So those are available. And if you give me one more minute. Disposal bags, are here too. We have these, if you're looking to get rid of your old expired medication or medication you don't use anymore, drop boxes are available, but this is something you can do easily at home. Open it up, put some water in it, put your medication in it. It's safe to put in your trash then afterwards.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jackie, for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And I hope you enjoyed listening to us again today. Tune in tomorrow. It's probably going to be an exciting afternoon with Teresa Detweiler tomorrow. I expect it to be nice and lively. So I hope you join us again. Thank you so much. Bye.